Hi, welcome to my kitchen and welcome to my channel. This channel is called Never an Empty Nest. Seems like kids keep moving out and they keep moving back in. So, seems like we'll never have an empty nest, which is fine by me because I love to cook and I love to take care of my kids. Today for supper I'm making stuffed peppers. So I picked up some red and yellow peppers at the grocery store. Make them very similar to the way I make cabbage rolls with the same kind of sauce and similar filling. I just find that stuffed peppers are, I wouldn't say better, but they're a little different and they're very enjoyable, so I like making them and I like eating them. I'm also going to make garlic fingers today. Garlic fingers similar to what you'd get in a pizza shop. I'll be doing that on a separate video. So if you want to follow along while I'm making the stuffed peppers, let's get at it. And if you like this channel, please subscribe and give this video a like and leave a comment. Let us know where you're from. So to start off the stuffed peppers, I got some hamburger meat here. It's medium ground beef. So that's usually a little greasier than the lean ground beef or the extra lean. So before I stuff my peppers with it, I'm going to thaw it out, of course, and I am going to fry it out in the pan and drain some of the grease off of it. The way I like to thaw my meat in my microwave is not using the defrost button, but I like to put it on for an extended time, like 20 minutes or so, on a power level of 2. They say that, here goes the dog again. They say that if you put it on a power level of 2 or 1, it's a constant, very low power, so it thaws your meat better and it doesn't cook the meat. Whereas if you put it on defrost, it blasts it in intervals with full power, and that's why you end up with cooked spots in your meat. So I'm going to put that in the microwave there now, and I'm also going to cook a little bit of rice here. I got this big bag of basmati rice, very cost effective, so I buy it by the big bag. I got a little rice cooker here, and I will be putting on a little bit of rice. And before I stuff my peppers, I'll mix the rice in with the hamburger meat and the bit of vegetables I cut up to put in it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get, I'm not cooking a lot of rice to have in this. The way I cook the rice in the rice cooker, which is standard method I guess, is 1 part rice to 2 parts water and a little bit of salt. So usually I cook 2 cups of rice and 4 cups of water, but I'm not going to do that today. I don't want that much rice. If I have any left over, I'll just use it for a bit of fried rice for my lunch tomorrow. So I'm just going to scoop out 2/3 of a cup. Make a mess. I'm going to dump that right in there. So I'm just going to add a bit of cold water to this rice, give it a little rinse around here. I'm going to give it a little stir with the spoon, and I'm going to drain all that off. And that just removes the excess starch from the rice. I guess it makes it not so sticky. Don't think it really matters in this dish because it's going into the hamburger meat anyway. So hopefully all this rice will sink to the bottom now, and I will be able to just drain it out here. Let's have a look. Let's get some of this out of here. Okay, so I'm just going to gently drain that off. Doesn't matter if I get it all out. I'll just go a couple tablespoons shy with my water if I don't get it all out. Okay, so I used 2/3 of a cup of rice, so I'm going to use the same measure twice now, so I'll have twice as much water as I do rice. 1, 2. Okay. So I'm just going to put the cover on this now. I'm going to plug her in. I'm a little rough in the kitchen sometimes, so don't be alarmed by anything that you might see. So I'm just going to hit the cook button on this now. What this will do is it'll cook it. I think it cooks it for about 20 minutes or so, and then it will put it on a keep warm mode. So usually when it's on the keep warm mode for about 5 minutes, it's ready to go. I really like that rice cooker. Okay, so I'm going to get this meat ready now to go into the microwave. I usually put it in a high pan here with high walls on it, so that any juices doesn't run out into the microwave. So let's get this ready now. Okay. All right. frozen pretty hard, so I'll just put it in like this, and then after about 5 minutes I should be able to get this bit off the edges into the pan here. I got my hamburger meat put into the microwave. The way it works on my microwave is that you put it for the length of time you want it. So I'm going to put it on for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Now you click power level 2. And I'm going to hit start. So when that gets all done now, I'll come back and we'll get that meat frying out. So while I'm waiting for the hamburger meat to finish defrosting in the microwave and the rice to cook in the rice cooker, I'm going to get the vegetables ready. What I have here is a medium-sized onion and 2 stalks of celery. I've trimmed off the ends of the celery. It's been washed already. So I'm just going to use my little sharp knife here that I love so much. I'm just going to split this down the middle. I like to have the celery cut nice and small for this recipe. Cut it nice and small, split it down the middle. Then I'm going to split it again. So I'm going to try to watch my fingers here because this knife is like a razor blade. Okay. Just going to get that chopped in half. And get the rest of these chopped in half. Which ones aren't chopped? Can't really tell. Okay, these two. Alright, so I'm going to chop this in half. And if you got a piece bigger than the other, it don't really matter. We're just doing this for home use. We're not doing this professionally, so it doesn't matter if everything is exactly the same size. Really does not matter. Okay, so I'm going to put that roughly in half here. Put it here like this. And just start chopping. Nice and small, because when it cooks up you get the flavor, but you don't get a whole lot of the actual vegetable in there. I don't really mind the vegetables, and most people, all my people in this house don't really mind it either. But that's just the way I got used to doing it. If you hear my dog barking, please forgive me, because she is a Norwegian Elkhound German Shepherd mix, and she loves to be outdoors. She won't come in most of the time, even if I threaten her. She loves to bark. We live in the woods here, so there might be a moose in the woods, or there might be a coyote in the woods or something like that she's barking at. It might even be a squirrel or a bird, but somehow she just will not shut up. So I try to keep her quiet best I can, but sometimes it's hard. Okay, so that's my celery chopped. We're expecting the big eclipse today at around 4 o'clock is supposed to start, and I think it's supposed to peak at around 5:08, and it's supposed to start coming back to lightness at around 5:10, 5:11, something like that. I did get the glasses, but I've decided not to look at it because there have been some fake glasses going around. I don't think the ones I got are fake by no means, but my eyesight is just not worth it, so I'm not going to even bother. So here's our onion. Chop it as fine or as rough as you like. It really doesn't matter. Personal preference. I like a bit of crunch to my onion, so if they're not totally cooked up, it doesn't matter to me. Oops, I almost done it. I almost took the top off my finger. Okay, so that's my onions and my celery. So I got my peppers all washed here. I usually use this knife, but this is my next favorite knife. It's a little one I bought at an outdoor store, and it's one of the sharpest little paring knives I've ever had, and I love it. So these 2 pieces of pepper were some that I already had in the fridge. They're already washed. I cut pieces off them for various things. So I'm just trying to get most of the seeds out of that there now. I'm just dumping it in the sink for now. I'll clean that up later. And I'm just going to get most of this white inside part off here. So these I'm going to take and I'm going to cut these in half. Some people just cut the tops off them and stand them up, but I'd rather do them on the side. I don't know why that is, I just do. So we're just going to scrape this stuff out of here. So we're just going to continue on cleaning up these peppers now. Rearrange them on your pan. So one of the things I use is garlic. I use a lot of garlic. Now these are starting to bud. So I don't know if this, I don't think it really hurts. Let's just have a look here. What odds if they got a bit of green in them? Doesn't really matter. So I like quite a bit of garlic. I might plant these actually. So I'm going to take this minute. I'm just going to give it a little whack here with my fist. And cut the ends off. And I'm going to cut that green part off. I don't really want that in my food. I know it won't hurt me. And it probably would not affect the taste either, but just to be consistent here. I'm just going to grab these. I'm going to give this a shake off here in the sink. And now I'm going to chop these up. I'm going to try to chop them pretty fine because you don't want big chunks of garlic. Not in this anyway. I don't. Not a professional chef by no means. I'm just a mom who does the best that she can with what she got. So my chopping skills won't be comparative to anybody else's, but I really don't care. It gets chopped in the long run. It might take a little longer, but that's it. So I find if you just scrape it together in like a line, then you start. I watched the professionals use their knife, so I know that you're supposed to hold on to the tip of it here, and you're supposed to rock your handle. So I just do that as best I can here, and it seems to work. So yeah, I think that's pretty good there now. It's a bit of fun as we need to have it. Alrighty. So I'll throw that in the bowl with the vegetables and mix that through. So about half of that will go in with the meat and half will go in with the sauce. I do that all the time with my cabbage rolls as well. Puts an awesome taste on it. So I got some sun-dried tomatoes here in a bowl. I'm just going to grab a spoon here now and poke some of those out. And I'm also going to chop them up as finely as I can. Now these are packed in oil, so there's going to be a bit of oil. So I'll just drain them off a bit here. I might as well use up what I got here. Time for a new bowl. I had these and I like these on a cracker with a little bit of hot mixed vegetables and a piece of sun-dried tomato and a piece of cheese. That's a little snack that I like to have. So I used up most of my sun-dried tomatoes that way. Okay, I think I got it all. So I'm just going to rough chop that now and add that to my vegetables as well. That adds an amazing flavor. They're not very expensive either. They're less than $3 a bottle, I think. So it's good to have in house. pretty much got that chopped into a mush. Give it another one. Okay, I think we're good there now. So I'm just going to scoop that up, put that in with my vegetables. Oh, my Band-Aid is coming out. I gotta be careful. I don't want no Band-Aid in food. I had a burn on my hand and it's not better yet. Okay, so this is our vegetables. Give that a stir. I'll give it a better stir when I go to add it to the meat. So the next thing I'm going to do is get my sauce ready. So for my sauce, I use a can of diced tomatoes with herbs and spices. I use no name brand, but Elmer's, any kind. I'm not sure what you have in the States. So here in Canada is Elmer's, and no name is pretty much the tomato brand that you get. I might want to plug this in if I want it to work, right? Okay. The heck. Here we go. I'm going to just use this can of tomatoes. Put this aside so I can wash it, go into recycling. And this can of Elmer accent tomatoes. I got spicy red pepper. So that's go good with our peppers. So I got a can of accent's spicy pepper flavor. And I'm also going to add in a can of plain old tomato sauce just to give it a bit more liquid and stretch it out a little bit. So what I'm doing now is just mixing those vegetables in there. Give it a little mix. So wherever I can, I use no-name products. They're so much cheaper. They're probably made by the same companies that make the name brand products, but they cost a lot less. So usually that's what I do. I always put my cans up the rinse out for my recycling. So I got my ground beef all thawed out in the microwave here, and I'm just breaking it up a bit, and I'm going to brown it off in the pan. I like to chop it up a little bit because I don't like great big chunks of beef in my peppers. So I'm just going to drain that off and squeeze as much of the liquid out as I can. So our rice is cooked there now, so I'm just going to take out a couple scoops and put in with the hamburger meat. I think I'm going to need a bit bigger bowl, so I'm just going to grab a bowl here. I'm going to dump that all out into a bigger bowl. Next I'm going to add the rest of the vegetables. Give that a bit of a mix, and then I'm going to add some sauce in there. Start with 2, give it a mix around. I don't think it's quite enough. Need to add probably 1 more or so. I'm going to just add a little bit of garlic in there. Garlic powder, that is. Bit of salt and pepper. Another scoop of sauce. Give it a mix. That looks good to me. Next thing I'm going to do is add an egg. I'm going to put the egg in. That's about room temperature now, so I'm just going to mix that egg around. If it was hot, it would cook the egg, and you don't really want the egg to cook until it gets in the oven inside the peppers. It'll bind it together so that they won't fall apart so easily. So I'm just going to take out half of those peppers here now and put a bit of sauce on the bottom of the pan. Give it a little spread around. I'm going to move those other peppers up. Do the same on the other half of the pan. Just give it a little spread around. And put the rest of the peppers back. Going to start filling up those peppers now. I use 1/3 cup measure. I probably will have to redistribute after I get all my mix gone. I usually always have to do that so I can rob some out of one pepper to put in another pepper that doesn't have any or doesn't have enough. That's unavoidable. You always have to do that. Just going to put a bit of sauce over each pepper now. Next I'm going to wrap these with foil wrap and get them ready to go into the oven. I'm going to put them into a 350-degree oven for about 45 minutes with the foil wrap on top. And after 45 minutes I'll remove the foil wrap and cook them for probably another 45 minutes to an hour on about 375. The foil wrap that I have is not wide enough to go across the width of the pan, so I'm going to have to use 2 layers. And I'm just going to tuck that around the edges really good to make sure that steam stays in there when it starts to cook inside. So this is what our peppers look like after an hour and 45 minutes in the oven. The sauce that we had in the bottom of the pan is reduced down quite a bit. When you're serving these, the best way I like to serve them is put them on a plate and cut them up a little bit and put a little bit of spoonful of sauce over the top. Hope you'll consider making this recipe. You won't be disappointed. It's really delicious. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, and if you click the bell notification, you'll be notified next time I upload a new video. Thanks for watching.